Welcome back to my thoughts on the Black Screen channel. Well, it looks like I got some views, so that's good. That means more and more people are getting curious and wondering what people like me are all talking about. So that's cool. That's cool. I guess I clicked with at least 3 people, so that's awesome. That's awesome. I wasn't going to do a video, but man, I have got so much stuff running through my head. I'm like a lot of people, who got to witness the false, well, I can't really call it a false 9/11 because people really did, die on that day, and I really can't watch any videos. I've tried in the past, but every time that I see it just angers me. It really does. It pisses me off so fucking bad to to the point to where it just you ever get the feeling that when you watch something, then it just pisses you off to the point to where you feel like you should just go out and do something about it. I mean, basically that's how I feel. Every time that I watch that 9/11, I mean, it's been a while, and it still bothers me to see it. And people are just exploiting the fuck out of it, and they're showing the people that had jumped out the buildings and stuff. And I mean, I understand. They want the truth out, and what really happened, and things that maybe people may have overlooked or didn't see. But I mean, I just can't. I can't look at it anymore. And I can't. I haven't watched TV in about 5 years. I mean, I watch what's going on in the news world, via my phone. But I mean, that's about as far as I take it. I don't watch TV. I do watch movies, however, because the movies is what tells their plans. But I mean, for the average person, you'd have to watch and here and there it will click. But like, I listen to the storyline, I listen to where it's going, and the dialogue that's being spoken, and it's like you can almost picture these group of sick motherfuckers sitting around saying, oh, wouldn't this be cool if we could do that? Yeah, let's put it in a movie. They're not going to believe it anyway, because it's not real, right? Okay, but when they make it real, those movies don't click on in your brain with today's events. I mean, I could give examples. I mean, one of them, let me give you the oldest example in the book, okay? Star Trek. It all started with Star Trek, as far as I'm concerned, because that's as far back as I can take you. I'm old, but I'm not that old, But I mean, you look at the first flip phone that came from Star Trek, even though it was years and years later. Now, mind you, Star Trek, came out in the late 60s, early 70s, okay? And the first flip phone came out, 20 years or 20 some odd years after that. Okay. I know I had the first, or one of the first, Nextel flip phones, you know. It was like one of the coolest things, you know, but I mean, I did work construction back then, so, but, you know, almost everybody in the construction field had one. But, you know, the walkie-talkie mode, you know, you make you feel like you're in fucking Star Trek, you know. You know, that, and, you know, you got, nowadays, you got your tasers, okay? Didn't Star Trek have a taser? You know, maybe they called it the phaser, I don't know. But it was still the same thing. It would stun the opponent. You know, and then they had the other little taser-like guns that incinerated a person. You know? I'm sure that technology exists. It's just sitting on the shelf waiting to be released, just like the rest of the technology that they got. I mean, they're at least 150 years ahead of technology that we don't see. Okay? You think this UFO crap, you know, that's going on, you think that's just technology that they just re-engineered? First off, you can't reverse engineer anything. Okay? All you can do is engineer. Reverse engineering. What the fuck does that even mean? Reverse engineering. Okay. So you're going to tell me you took it apart, studied it, and put it back together. That's not reverse engineering. Reverse engineering would be going backwards. I mean, that's what reverse means, right? To go backwards. Huh? So you can't backwards engineer something. At least not in my opinion. You know, but I got so many things going through my mind these days. You know, and you know, maybe some things that I say click with people, like I said before. You know, but I mean, I'm probably gonna end up finding out that, you know, I repeat quite a bit. You know, not that they don't keep repeating, you know, the skies. You know, with all the toxicity that's going on up there. You know, there was so much that I wanted to say, and all of a sudden, well, now I'm drawing a blank. Sucks. But, see, this is why I shouldn't try to talk to the youth about this stuff during the day, because then when I go to make a video, I almost have nothing to say. But yeah, I guess it's all part of being aware, you know, awake and aware, and it drains you. It really does. My energy level, you know, especially after talking to, like, I talk to a lot of people just randomly. They look at me like I'm kind of fucking nuts, but like, I came out the doctor's office one day, and some lady just wanted to fucking chit-chat in the elevator. Not that we were going far, we were going from the second floor to the first floor. I mean, there's not too much conversation, but here's where the conversation really kicked in, is when we walked outside. You know, I always look at the sky. Always. You know, more so nowadays than before, but only because there's a whole lot more to look at nowadays, because, I mean, they're making these funky designs. But I said to the lady, I said, here's a conversation piece you don't hear every day. I said, tell you what, do me a favor and look up and tell me what you see. And at the time there was a fresh chemtrail going by, and I said, do you see what you're seeing? Do you know what you're looking at? And she was sort of an older lady. I mean, she probably was like 60 or so, but she didn't look her age. But she goes, no, why? What am I looking at? I said, you see that plane, right, with the white behind it, that little line in the sky. I said, do you have any idea what that is? And she goes, no. I said, really? I said, you've never heard of a chemtrail before? And she goes, what's a chemtrail? I said, okay. I said, well, let me just put it this way, because I was going to my car, she was going to hers, so I just made the conversation short. I said, just be lucky that the stuff up there isn't affecting you as much as other people, and because there's hazardous chemicals coming out of there. And she goes, well, at least it's only a plane. And I just got into my car and left. But it left me pondering my thought instead of her pondering hers, because of how naive she was, and ignorant, not in a sense to where she was being ignorant, but ignorant to herself, because she doesn't have the knowing of what's going on around her. And some people live their whole life like this, and I'm glad I'm not one of those people. But in another sense, it's I guess you can almost call it a curse, because any time that, especially with family, you can't talk to family much about this stuff, because they just get sick and tired of you saying it, and they just want to carry on with the fantasy life that that the system has for them, but you would think that family would be behind you more than anybody, and just at least, if anything, just be willing to entertain your idea, and talk about it for 5 minutes and then let it go. But no, they don't even want to hear it anymore. Or at least agree with what you're seeing, because I've pointed it out many, many times over, and I'm like, and they just don't get it. They don't get it. It's either they don't get it, or they don't want to see or face the reality of it. Okay, like everybody just wants to go to work, mind their own business, go home and be with their family, or whatever it is that that they do. But and just do the daily routine. You wake up, you go to work, you come home, you deal with the bullshit, and you go to sleep. You do it again the next day. And everybody looks at you like you got 10 heads. But I do think, in a way, that their ignorance could be just a front. That they know what I'm talking about, they know what I'm saying is true, but they just don't want to admit it. People that want to live a false reality, they do that sometimes. And I can sit here and just kind of rant and rave and whatnot, and talk about the elite or the powers that be, and however people want to put it. And you know what? And I heard this on somebody else's YouTube channel, saying that knowledge isn't power because of something or other. And I always say that knowledge is power, because knowing will give you the power of knowing. And because you empower other people, to wake up and see the same thing that you see. So, just in my opinion alone, I don't agree with that. But that's okay, because I'm entitled to my opinion, and that's pretty much what it is. But on the basic level, me and any other YouTuber that's out there trying to point things out, whether it be in the news, whether it be in the sky, whether it be, whatever the war and what they're saying about it is, or supposedly, the Russians and the North Koreans want to attack the U.S. or at least whatever other line of bullshit that the mainstream media wants to put out there. And a lot of people suck that up too. They suck it up and they're like, oh, Norway, and oh well, fuck North Korea or Russia and this and that, and Trump sucks and da da da. Let me be the first to tell you, Trump is either going to get his strings pulled or he's going to do the right thing. Now, my foresight tells me that he's just going to get his strings pulled, or he's just going to, play it on out, because, see, every president that we've had has had a narrative, okay? I mean, you had ISIS with Obama, you had Al Qaeda with Bush Jr., you had, Desert Storm with his father, and I mean, it's just, they make up all these fucking names for all these supposed, terrorist groups and stuff, and the way that I see it is that I don't believe that Hitler killed himself. I believe he was alive and well after the war, and I believe he went somewhere else and lived out the rest of his life. But hey, that's what I think, So I think that's pretty much what happened to everybody that they want to either silence, and they pay him off, and then they go elsewhere, and then you never hear from him again, and then all of a sudden, America's like, oh, this person died and that person died, and it's always a fucking suicide or a drug addiction. It's never anything fucking, oh, well, he walked outside his house, got hit by a bus. You never hear anything like that. No, it's always suicide or some kind of addiction problem. But I mean, if you ever notice that anybody that goes into Hollywood, or anybody that you hear that just got famous in Hollywood, whether it be a child actor or started out in Disney and this and that, and then became popular and famous and da-da-da-da, and all of a sudden, boom, guess what? Now they're hooked on drugs and it's always something. It's always something, okay? And when the MK Ultra mind control fucking starts to fade away, and they come down to reality, and they try to, tell their story, and then boom, nope, he's crazy, or she's crazy, or, I mean, look what they did with Shia LaBeouf, that poor bastard, I mean, look what they're doing to Kanye West, look at Miley Cyrus, for Christ's sake, Justin Bieber, fuck. Name a famous face, and then go back, look at their start, and then look at where they are now, And you're always going to hear that they've been battling this addiction, and and the Betty Ford Clinic is full. And I mean, the Betty Ford Clinic is the fucking headquarters of MK mind control. It's the fucking headquarters of it. That's where they do all the experiments and shit. That's what it was built for. So it's like people don't understand, or they don't want to understand, or they don't want to see the reality of everything, because they're scared of it. And anybody knows that well, that's their best weapon is fear. If they strike fear in you, then you'll be more compliant. And that's what you don't want to be. You don't want to be compliant. You want to be aware, okay? And if we're going to live by this thing called the U.S. Constitution, that really doesn't apply. But, they wrote it, to make us think that it applies, and then let it go for so long, and then take it away. This is what they do. You know, it's like they'll put out like this fucking new food item or something, and say, oh well, this will cure this and this will cure that. Next thing you know, it's not on the shelf anymore. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, this is just things that I've noticed, and I make these videos just because you know, I have to get this shit out my head. I gotta say it, you know, and for those who are willing, God bless your soul, who want to listen to people like me ramble and just carry on, then all the power to you, and hopefully some things that I say click and, you know, resonate with you. But you know, these, like I said, it's just things that I've noticed, and things that I see, you know, pretty much on a daily basis. You know, it's like you look at the damn stupidity, you know, of people just in general. You know, watch how somebody drives. Watch how many. I mean, pick a person and see how many people they say hi to or that they don't say hi to. You know, I mean, common decency, common courtesy is out the fucking window nowadays. You know, everybody's a fucking enemy to one another, and no, this isn't how it should be. You know, families are being divided every single day. You know, yeah, it's hard, you know, and once you start talking, you know, there's crazy talk that I talk to, you know, let's just say your kids that have known you your whole life, and then all of a sudden say, whoa, dad, or you know, or mom, or, you know, whoever you are, you know, you're acting kind of weird. What's going on? And, you know, you try to explain to them, and they just think you're crazy. You know, so I guess the first people to ridicule you is your family. You know, who supposedly say that they, you know, they love you and understand you and all this and that, but they really have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, because they're so quick to judge you. You know, and it's sad. It really is. It's fucking sad. So, well, there's my thought of the day. So that's about it. All right.